That socket is on fire. Don't think the snap-on man would approve of that. Can I have some water, please?
We're back at SPR with my CLK 200. It's been quite a few weeks, and that's because Sam and the SPR team are extremely busy to the point now where they actually can't take on any new customers, so I got there just in time. You may remember from the first video, this car is in for 2 suspension arms, 1 on each side, 2 rear springs, and then 2 rear brake flexi hoses, as well as brake fluid and of course 4-wheel tracking as well. The eagle-eyed amongst you might recognise this car here, the S-Class, from one of High Peak Auto's recent videos. So it's definitely a YouTube day here at SPR. Okay, so Sam might not need any new customers, but what he does need is new subscribers, so please do subscribe to SPR Autos. If you like this video, what we're going to do today, you're going to absolutely love his channel because it's just, that's his bread and butter. Let's get started on the CLK.
Just take the inspection cover off, which stops people inspecting the spring to see if it's broken. Get the cover off, lower this arm down and get the spring out. So the prop is just going to take the pressure of the arm with the spring while we get the bolt out, and then we're under control lowering it down. So it's not under as much tension as you'd think.
So that's the broken bit. Yeah.
That's your broken tail.
Yeah.
And the reason why you probably would never know that is because that's where it sits, that's broken off, and this part is still sat.
Yeah.
So it's still safe, I would say. But if it broke a coil up, then you're going to have banging. So when you tell customers they need a spring, a lot of them are surprised because they can't hear anything.
Well, makes me feel better.
So we'll give this a good clean out inside there.
I can feel the comments coming about the crustiness. I think it might be time for some Avantgarde or something.
It always looks worse than it is, doesn't it? So the spring, you can see now with that cover off where the spring sits, that tail sits in there. It sits in a specific location to stop it moving. You've just got to feel that you've got it in the right spot.
We've got the blue marks, which means we know it's the right spring.
Oh yeah, so
three blue marks,
three blue colour codes which match the old ones. Very specific to each model, car, spec, engine, gearbox. That's why we don't fit aftermarket springs, because a lot of aftermarket springs don't go off the specification of the car. It's just one spring for that model and that's it. And then you get a wonky car. And to be honest, they're the same price. There's probably £10 difference. On reassembly, we're obviously going to dunk everything in the grease bucket. Should it ever have to come out for any reason, it's make it easier for the next person. So that bolts through, all safe and secure. You can take that off.
Look at that, shiny.
It's always good looking at nice
Yeah,
shiny part. It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
You feel like you're doing something good for your car.
I'm sure the car will appreciate it.
Okay, one down, one to go.
So this is the lower suspension arm because we've got a cracked bush there, and that makes sense because this side was done not too long ago.
We'll get a good demo of the bush and the vice when we get it out. You can see it's not, see how it's all separated from the aluminium.
Yeah, you were saying this one's made of aluminium, and then
yeah, that's steel.
oh, this one's
the backward one's steel, the forward one is aluminium.
Right, okay.
So when we reference them, we kind of say you need a steel arm or an alley arm.
Yeah.
Because if you just say you need an arm, it's which one is for.
This is Nathan, by the way. You like to be behind the camera normally, right? But
cameraman,
yeah.
He's getting used to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting you on camera now, so. Seen better days.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's still got some.
It wasn't about to completely.
No, but it's definitely seen better days. You can see how it should be.
Yeah. Nice. Just a shame I can't, see that when I'm driving along.
Yeah, yeah. Before I took the wheel off, I checked for play in the wheel because it's just a habit. And we had a bit of play in this wheel. I presumed it was because of the arm that we're replacing. However, we're replacing the arm because of the bush, not the ball joint. So we've checked it and we've actually got a bit of play in the left-hand front track rod end. So we've developed another fault in between him leaving last time and coming back. But we're doing tracking anyway, we're doing suspension anyway, so...
Since my service, mate, it was all...
it was fine before.
It was fine before. If one side's gone and been done, then it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Can you hear that knocking?
Yeah.
Well, it proves a point of the inspection on the service of MOT is only good for the day. So between now and then, another component's failed. People ask me a lot, about is my car safe to drive over the telephone. I can't say. It's impossible for me to say. If I say yes, it sounds like it, and you break down, you're not going to like me at all.
No, exactly.
So I always say I can't answer that.
Yeah.
My car is one of the best maintained cars ever, and I could break down tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
I've just undone the locking nut from the chatward end. I'm going to keep that in the same. The chances of that being that loose are slim, so that's good. But that's one problem. Next problem is the tie rod going to move independently, which it is. So looking at the rust, you don't think that, but I'm well happy with that. That's saved me a job.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, because otherwise you'd have to get the heat out, warm the nut up, warm the tie rod up, get everything loose. But no, that's really good news.
Well done, car.
Yeah. That tie rod, track rod end, undoing like that is like a mechanic's dream, because they'd usually be like heating it up,
Yeah, totally
swearing
seized
at
on.
it. We're gonna put a load of grease on the inner tie rod, so when we screw that back in, that'll all go inside there and make it, stop it seizing for future. Even though it's not seized anyway, but it's something to do while you're in there.
Yeah. I presume that would have been the original part, would it?
Yeah, and it still feels good, to be fair. So it's holding. If you used to pick that up and let go and it dropped, then the ball socket on the inner tie rod is on its way as well. So the top of the ball joint's turning, so we need to hold in the ball joint still while I tighten the nut down to save it spinning. I'm so pleased that that's loose, I can't tell you. So that's the steel arm done, chatward end done, Lemforder brand, which is
as good
quality
as
brand. Yeah, I think in a lot of cases Lemforder make the parts for Mercedes, and you've had Lemforder fitted previously, chatward end and steel arm, so it's matching set now.
That's good.
So left to do is your alloy arm. We're replacing it because of the bush that's leaked its oil out and gone dry. You can see the stains where it's leaked. And that is the original arm the car left the factory with.
Oh, look at that.
You could say it's done its job, couldn't you?
Yeah. So the symptoms of that for me what I've noticed is I've called it the pothole enhancer, because it seems
Yeah.
you hit something that looks like a small dip in the road, you know, a small little pothole, and it feels like you've hit some massive pothole.
Yeah, that's it. To get that out is a bit of a job. We've got to drop the roll bar down because the bolt comes out of the back, which, as you can see, you can't get it out the back. It's got to hit that bracket. If that bolt was in the other way around, you could have took it out that way. Put a load of lubrication spray on them last time it was in, hoping it will do something for us. I've ordered new bolts, and the bolt has actually been modified. They've changed the head of the bolts. The last time I changed them, they were still Torx. They've changed it back to a 13mm. Before we undo anything, the first thing we're going to do is have a feel of these to see what they feel like.
Moment of truth.
See, you can see the head of the bolt moving, but that doesn't mean the bolt in the chassis is moving, so you've got to be so careful. I think that one feels like it might come out.
Oh, that's, yeah.
I mean, you can see all the corrosion coming out with it. Not something you want to be ringing the customer saying.
Or in the case where you've got the customer literally filming
Stood here watching. Yeah, so basically, I've got an air hammer attachment for socket. I'm going to impact the bolt with the hammer, and I'm going to have a feel of it with that to see if I can slowly get it going. So we've got it moving a very, very small amount. So we're tightening, we're undoing, we're tightening, we're undoing. You've got to be patient with this. So I can only get to there. So if it starts going further this way, we know we're getting somewhere. Shoulders are aching.
You don't need to go to the gym when you're working on these things.
It's definitely loose error. Because we've got it undone probably one thread, if that. Got to impact the bolt again, because now it has cracked off. We might be able to just vibrate it a little bit. That socket is on fire. Don't think the snap-on man would approve of that. Can I have some water, please? All that to gain access to that bolt.
It's not even the thing that we're trying to fix.
If that was in the other way around, we wouldn't have this problem.
Put it that side, yeah. I was thinking sometimes you get comments on videos saying, "Oh, why don't you do it yourself?" And it's like, well,
I really wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend doing this yourself.
No.
In fact, everything we've done, maybe a track rod end if you're lucky, and
if
like we were lucky.
Loose, yeah.
We've now gained access to that bolt. We can undo the nut for the arm. Out now. Roll bar down to get that out. But now you can see you can't get the arm out because of the strut. So we're going to have to drop the hub down, replace it, put it all back together. So we're going to make this a two-man job. So I'm going to hold the hub, Nathan's going to swap the arm, and then we can get it back in. Don't know why I just put it in that little gap when I can put it there. Wanted to show off my speed. So these are the new bolts with a different head, coating them in anti-seize. One, so they go in easier, and two, should they ever need to come out, they'll come out easier.
Got another one there, son.
I don't do them overly tight either, I just do it enough
I'm nearly at a full house of suspension arms because of these. This is new. This is relatively new, brand new, and then on this side, brand new. Oh, that's brand new, and then that is the only one left now. So as soon as I drive out of here, that's going to shed all its oil.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bonus.
Yeah, bonus. We keep all sorts of bits of trim clips and all sorts. So as we're going round the car servicing stuff, if we see stuff like that, we'll just do it and not say anything. Can't help ourselves. First bleed screw undone. That's a good start. So we can go ahead and do the brake hose. So we always leave the mole grips on to hold the hose down.
Downwards, yeah.
Splits in the hose there.
Oh yeah. And presumably they are under quite high pressure when you're braking.
The deeper those cracks get, eventually it would probably burst. But I mean, you're a long way off that. But that would be an MOT failure now, or an advice even.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's nasty.
So we're using genuine brake hoses. The price between a genuine one and a non-genuine one, say a Padged one, we're talking pounds and pence. So I think they're about 20 quid each. I'll clean all that off and then I put some, like an under seal over it to stop this rusting, like the other one did.
Yeah.
And what else I'll do is I'll spray a bit of that in the spring cup. Now it's back in position. May help, may not. It's a bit of it's like an old wax oil really. Stop that brake hose looking horrible in a short space of time and hopefully help the spring out.
Flexi hose number 2, complete. Oh, okay.
Well, that's like warm fluid. Fresh fluid is pretty much clear.
Right. Why does it go green? Is there something that...
I think yours is just ruined, mate. Technical term. So much so, we're not going to want to flush that through, even though it'd come out of the calipers. We'll suck as much out of the reservoir as we can now, pour some fresh in. Obviously, then you are mixing fresh with worn, but to just get it as good a drain as we can. The whole system only holds about 600-700 mil. Could be wrong, somebody might correct you in the comments. But we do a litre total on this car, so you've got more fluid out than it holds, so you know it's all out.
Right. Nice and clear.
Right, so this is a brake fluid pressure bleeder. So a lot of people obviously just do it the old school way, pressing the pedal. We use pressure to fill up the system and you get a far better drain and a better pedal, and obviously we have the facility to suck the reservoir out before we even start, so we're getting the best brake fluid change you can get. A litre total, maybe a bit more, so 250 mil each caliper. Work our way around, so we'll just leave that to do its own thing. That keeps a constant 2-bar pressure at the reservoir. So then as soon as we open a nipple, we're getting a nice steady stream, flush all the air out, flush all the old fluid out.
That's some of my car, is it?
Yeah.
It's all about preventing future headaches.
Yeah, especially if you have a puncture, get your wheels off.
Yeah. So I've decided to do away with these, which are the aftermarket bolts, stainless steel bolts that don't rust. That rust is actually off the inside of the hub. And this one here is like a genuine bolt, and there's a much bigger collar on it, so it doesn't go all the way in where it shouldn't go and get all covered in crap and potentially get stuck in there maybe. You always got to go genuine, that's what I'm learning. Or genuine or proper, and not just like eBay special.
It had rained quite heavily in the morning on the way up to SPR,
And we noticed throughout the day that water was dripping from the bottom of the car, so Sam very kindly offered to clean out the drain holes which were causing the problem.
You've got a drain here, which goes down the wing, one in the middle, which goes straight down the back, and then you've got another one of those on the other side.
And we think this one on this side is...
I have a feeling it's blocked because we've had a constant drip.
Oh, nice, look at that. Yeah, when I first had it, it was parked under a tree, so that'll probably be...
Right.
Yeah, if this blocks here, then it can end up going through this filter, which is the cabin filter, the pollen filter's in there, and then you end up with it inside the car, and that is no good for anybody.
This is an extreme simulation of rain going directly into your drain.
Yeah, it should be coming out the bottom. There it is.
Yeah, it's not flying out as fast as I'm pouring it in. So before, I was just getting constant drip.
It was just dripping and dripping, yeah.
Tell you now that one's blocked because the water's...
Oh, there's still water there, yeah.
Yeah, here. And then rod that out there. Still don't like it. Vacuum line, and then I've put a rubber end on the end so I can get some air forced in it further down. I can hear that's just gone through.
Better, yeah.
Some more rain simulation.
Oh yeah. After all that suspension work to both the back and the front of the car, it's now time for the four-wheel alignment.
Make sure the rear tow arms undo on the two-post ramp because you get tons more room. It's more difficult when we go on the tracking ramp. So make sure everything's loose now before we struggle on there. Because if there's a problem, if we can't undo it, it's easier to do on this one. I'm just scraping out the rust out the back of it as well. Does it make my life easier? This is why we do it now.
I mean, I had it four-wheel aligned in recent times.
I'm wondering if they might have just done the fronts because they don't look like they've been off before. It
is now adjustable.
It is now adjustable. So this is a special tool to hold the back of the bolt to stop it spinning. That's it.
Quick test drive just to settle the suspension, as you were saying.
That's your new straight ahead position.
The straight ahead. Yeah, it's off a little bit. That's why we need to do some tracking. Feels smooth though. It is a smooth car when it's got fully working suspension.
It's definitely running good. I can tell you now the suspension and the brakes feel better.
That's good.
So basically, now we're going to get the gauges on, do a calibration, figure out the current straight ahead position, which we know, but basically tell the computer, and then we can take a measurement of the whole car and adjust everything.
And then you're on 9/18s?
Yeah. So you just do what it asks you to do now?
Yeah, pretty much. It's quite a straightforward process, to be fair. It's just getting the actual tracking straight. Go on to next now and we'll get our readings, see if it's in. Oh, got a correct one.
What does that mean?
It just means the tracking arms aren't straight, so
it's not quite on.
Yeah, so it won't measure. The lasers have got to match up so they can read each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see way out on the
this one is rear left.
Yeah, that's way out.
That's way out. Oh, that's the total. Oh, that's the average of those two.
Yeah. As you can see, you're in this one, but ideally you want to bring it in towards.
And this is all rear, isn't it?
Yeah, this is all rear, yeah. So always start from your rear, because if you track your fronts first and then your rears, you'll crap down the road.
Right.
So
I've never been privileged to actually watch someone do it. So there's a little laser. In fact, I can sort of see it on the camera.
Yeah.
But I can't see it in real life.
Your nut, so we can twist the bolt and it will move the eccentric washer, moves the arm in and out.
Okay.
But, I mean,
you can see it.
As you can see, the arm's just moving anyway. stopped moving now, but it has brought us back into spec.
Zoom in, and we're in green.
Yeah, so we'll try and get it as spot on as we can. That there's perfect.
Yeah, that's looking good.
And,
But that's what you're looking for, is it? 0.
So we're looking for these to be as close to 2.45-ish as possible.
Yeah, okay.
And it'll bring your total toe right into the middle as well.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to your fronts now, so we'll get the steering lock on to make sure your wheels are straight as possible. So when I track it, your wheel's not going to move left or right, and hopefully you'll be straight as possible down the road.
So what we've got to do now is, because everything's in spec, that does not mean your steering wheel is perfectly straight. So we need to lower the car down now, do a 90-degree right, a 90-degree left, back to middle, make sure everything stays where it is. So a lot of people just send it down the road test it, because you might have to make a slight tweak to just bring it in. But we can also check the steer head angle, so that's at 0.01. That is a human hair. According to the computer, we're where we should be.
Certificate of achievement. Well, that looks straighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob on?
Yeah, pretty much. None of our roads are straight anyway. But,
No, exactly.
yeah, it's hard.
In America, you'd be...
Yeah, you'd know.
Oh, it's really good to know that this car is now working as it should be, that complex suspension is set up just as it was when it came out of the factory. The multi-link, all the arms are there. The rear suspension is no longer snapped at the bottom. Now, I have to say, I didn't notice that, and I still, can't see any difference with it now. The only thing that I can see a difference with is the fact that this no longer has that pothole enhancer up front where, if I hit a small pothole, it would feel like hitting a massive one, and that was that upper alloy arm. The rest of it, there was not really any way of knowing. The brake pedal definitely feels a lot firmer and a lot more positive, and I can't tell if it's like a psychological thing or what, but it does feel smooth, it feels, sharp, all of the steering inputs feel right. Or maybe there was just that little bit of slack before that I'd kind of not fully noticed. So I found a lovely scenic spot to run through the thing that I think you're all probably asking by now, which is, how much did this cost? I have the invoice here. Bearing in mind that was quite a lot of work, Sam's actually discounted me on the labour for the track rod end, which is very kind, and I got the wheel bolts for half price. So the full total for all that work was £1,130.88. For sorting this car out, a car that would be the equivalent now of probably £60,000, £70,000. It's a luxury car. It's pence really to keep this masterpiece on the road. Yeah, massive thanks to Sam and Nathan and everybody at SPR for just a fantastic day. I mean, I would have just gone there to watch them work anyway, I think. I've never had the privilege of seeing that up close. You take your car in, then you come back a day later and it's done, and you never get to see underneath the car, you never get to see around it and what's going on, and for me that's just a really fascinating experience. So don't forget to subscribe to SPR. If you want to see the first part of this 2-part series, then click up there, because that was interesting. That's where we actually discovered these issues and did the service and everything and went over the car. And yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video.